Hi, welcome to this tutorial. This is Raya. In this session, I'm going to show you how to draw graphs of piecewise functions. So this is part 2 of graphing piecewise functions. Without delay, let's start the session. Right, so we have the first example. Then we're told function of x is equal to 3 when x is greater or equal to 0 and less than 2. Function of x is equal to x plus 1 when x is greater or equal to 2 and less than 4. And finally, function of x is equal to 9 minus x when x is greater or equal to 4 and less or equal to 6. So how do we go about graphing this? So hopefully you have seen my earlier video. This is slightly advanced example, but you can still go ahead and watch this. So we start by defining function of x equals to y, and that is purely for convenience. So we're going to say y is equal to 3. That's our first piece. And then we're going to say y is equal to x plus 1. That's the second piece. And finally, we got y equals to 9 minus x. Right, so let's start graphing these three pieces of functions then. So y is equal to 3 is only valid when x is greater or equal to 0. So what do we do? Y equals to 3 is a horizontal line all the way there, but it's only valid when x is greater or equal to 0. So equal to 0, we go up here, and 3, because there's an equal sign, we have to do a solid circle, and it goes up to 2, but 2 itself is not included, so we're going to draw an empty circle or a white circle. So we go up here and draw x equals 2 here and draw a line, and that's our first line drawn. And now for the second piece of function, then we have y equals x plus 1, and that is applicable when x is greater or equal to 2 and less than 4. So what we can do here is just do a little table. So we got x and y. Now we can start with the values that we have. So we got x greater or equal to 2. We're going to make x equals to 2. When x is 2, y is equal to 2 plus 1, and that is 3. Then we can use our next value, which is 4. So when x is equal to 4, then what do we have? Y equals 4 plus 1 is 5. Now we can go ahead and plot these 2 points and draw our line. So we know this is the straight line with a slope of 1. So we compare this with y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient of this line and 1 is the y-intercept. So for the first value, x equals 2, we've got the equal sign. So that means we need to draw a solid circle. And at that point, y is 3. So we got x equals 2 and y equals 3, which is just there. So we can draw another line and another circle, which is a solid circle there. And then when x is 4, y is 5. So when x is 4, that value does not belong to this function, so it can't be included, which means we're going to draw an empty circle. So x equals 4, y is 5. So x 4, y is 5 there. We have to draw an empty circle, and then we join the 2 up. Okay, now we've done that function, we can go ahead and do our last function. Similarly, we have a straight line here with a negative gradient because we've got negative x here. So we got x and y. And now what we can do is take these two values. So when x equals 4, we put it up here. When x equals 4, y is equal to 9, take away 4, y is 5. When x equals 6, we put it up here. And then y is going to be equal to 9 take away 6, which is 3. So now we've got our table, we can go ahead and plot these two values, and both 4 and 6 belong to this function because we got the equal sign on our inequality symbols. So when x is 4, y is 5. So again, x is 4, y is 5. We're going to have a solid circle that belongs at that point. So I'm just going to draw it like that so you can see it. And then when x is 6, y is 3. So x is 6 here and y is 3. And that point is also a solid circle. And then we just draw our line. We know the gradient is -1. So this question is now complete. And now for our second piecewise function, then we're told function of x is equal to x plus 3 if x is less than -2. Function of x is equal to x squared if x is greater or equal to -2 and less than 1. And finally, function of x is equal to -x plus 2 if x is greater than 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my life easy by doing y equals x plus 3. And then I've got y equals x squared, that piece. And then finally I've got y equals to -x plus 2. So I'm going to draw my small tables again. I've got x and y here. So for the first one, x plus 3 is valid when x is less than -2. So we always start with what we're given here. We've got -2. If I put that y equals -2 plus 3, then y is equal to 1. Then I can choose another value which is less than -2. So I could choose a -4 just to have more gap. So -4. If I put that on my function y equals -4 plus 3, I will have -1. Now I can go ahead and draw this line. So when x is -2, y is 1. Now we don't have equal sign on our inequality, so we need to draw an empty circle at that point. So x equals -2 is up here. Y is 1. I'm going to draw that circle there. Again, x is a -4, y is -1. So -4 and -1 is there. So that's just a point that I need to plot. So anything that is less than -2 is valid. That means we're going to go have a line which goes on this way forever. Again, we can see the gradient is 1 here, so mx plus c. That line is done. Now let's go ahead and draw our next function. So we've got x and y. We have a quadratic function this time, so y equals x squared. We can start with what we're given. So when x is a -2, what is y? Well, y equals -2 squared, which is 4. Then I can use this value here when x is 1. So y equals 1 squared, I get 1. I could do one more when x 0. We know y is going to be 0. And we can go ahead and try to draw this function on our graph. So when x is -2, y is 4. Do that point include, do we need a solid circle or a white circle where x is greater or equal to -2? So I need to draw a solid circle. So x equals -2, y is 4. I go up here and draw a solid circle. Then the next point is x is 1, y is 1. So with that point here. Now to that point include, we've got x is less than 1, so we need to draw an empty circle. And our last point is over here, which we just need to draw. And then maybe we could do one more point when x is -1. What do we get? Well, -1 squared is 1. So -1 and 1 is that point there. And now we need to draw our graph function there. And that is for that part. The last part then, again, I can quickly draw a table, x, y here. Again, I've got x is greater than 1 for this function. So I could start with 1. And when x is 1, y is equal to -1 plus 2, that gives me 1. Then I can choose anything that is greater than 1. So let's say I choose 3. And then when x is 3, y is equal to -3 plus 2, which will give me -1. So we can see this is going to be a straight line with a negative gradient, and we need to draw it from x greater than 1. So we go to x equals 1, which is up here, then y is 1, but we need this to be greater than, so it's like another empty circle over there. And then when x is 3, y is -1. X is 3 here, y is -1. That's just a point, so I'm going to make a point there and then draw my line in that direction. Okay, so this question is now complete, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.